not just tennis, but all sports, where you should incorporate, you need to incorporate what we call a dynamic stretching protocol before you play. And when you do that, you're just going to get, there's so many benefits. Number one is injury prevention. Number two, you're going to, first of all, you're going to maximize the first 15, 20 minutes of your playing time. You're going to be a lot more, your muscles are going to be warmed up, and so therefore you're going to have a much, much better game. But I just think the key is to get, you want to get some blood flow.
Here today with Nigel, the tennis pro here at Morningside, and we're putting together a stretching video to kind of prepare and warm up before you just go out and play tennis. It's important to warm up. So Nigel, share a little bit about your background and what kind of, how you started into tennis pro and how you feel stretching is important.
Well, I've been in the industry a long time. I've been in the industry for over 40 years. Been playing for that, for 30 years, but I've been playing for over 40 years, James. And you know, I just one of those guys who love to play different sports. Played a lot of different sports when I was younger, and then I kind of gravitated towards tennis. You know, and I really enjoyed the individual part of it, and also the kind of the one-on-one battle. It's almost like a boxing, you know, tennis is a little bit more like a boxing match, but without getting hurt, if you will,
exactly,
right? You know, it's mano a mano, and you got to figure things out yourself. You don't have coaching or anything like that. But anyways, that's how I got into it. As I said, played a lot of sports, but tennis was definitely the one that I focused on later on in life, and then played a little bit on the pro tour, and then after playing on the tour, I kind of fell into coaching.
Can you share anything that you feel would help other people who are playing tennis, that you might motivate them to be a better tennis player? What's some advice that you could give someone?
Well, I think, you know, the big, obviously, you know, getting out, practicing, getting on the ball machine and all that stuff. But you know, the better the athlete, the better the player. I always used to coach, especially when I'm working with kids. You know, I always coach athlete first, tennis player second. And that goes along with what you're talking about, what you promote in terms of fitness. So the better athlete you are, the more fit you are, the better you're going to play.
The more flexible, the stronger you are. Like we talk about is agility. It's important to have flexibility to get down there, be able to be loose to get to a ball, but also you work out to help get the strength and help you get strong to be able to get back up. So it's agility, strength plus flexibility, which is going to help you play better. So it's all related. So.
Absolutely.
I'm here with Shaquila, a great athlete. She plays tennis, plays golf, does it all. So Shaquila here is going to demonstrate all the 12 stretching exercises from head to toe. So what we're going to do is to start, because you turn your neck side to side a lot when you're playing tennis, so you look up and down. So we're going to start with the neck muscles. So you're going to turn, and you want to take your chin, shoulder to your chin, or chin to shoulder. You want to do more of your chin to your shoulder as far as you can to open up the sternocleidomastoid. Remember, we're doing dynamic stretches, not as much static. You can go and hold if you need, just to push a little bit further to get your better stretch, but it's more dynamic stretches, so it's just loosening up those neck muscles. Look up, look down. It's another variation to it. Look up, look down. You strain your neck because you go to react real quick and do something and it's not ready, and that's where you're going to end up with there's mild tear, partial tear, severe tear, a strain. You can end up with a strain in the muscle. So you sprain your ligaments and tendons. So. All right, now the next one, we're going to do circular motion just to get your shoulders warmed up. One direction and also opposite direction. And you can actually use your racket too if you want to do that also.
Start small circles, then go to large, start going bigger, all the way to a full, and then do palms up. Small circles, go a little bit larger, and then all the way to a full.
Now, the next stretch is arm over your head. You want to grab your elbow, pull down and back. So it's like patting yourself on the back. Your opposite hand goes in your elbow and you pull down and back. And Shaquila does it also with the racket, which is good because it does open up your scapula and get your opposite. So that's, if you have the flexibility, you have the range of motion, that is also a good stretch. The problem with that though, you don't really go as far unless, there you go, unless you pull down, perfect. So what you're doing is stretching out the latissimus dorsi, triceps, getting all this shoulder open up. Because when you serve, you're reaching up here serving, so that's very important. So next one, you can go right into from there. So you come down from over your head, and you can just come right into across your chest, and this will get your upper back. Okay, and you do a little bit of dynamic. Pull as far as you can. Open up that. Remember, very important to breathe on all these. Blade, don't hold your breath. When things are hard, breathe. Release the pressure. Both sides. Now, the next one is just a little bit of dynamic. What this does is open up this pec. Pull back, together, back, good. If you have a wall or you have a net, you can kind of do this, which is actually a good way to open it. Pull, if you have resistance, take the net over here at the bar. The net's gonna bend, but at least it's a, turn your body, open up your chest here. Okay, now we're still working our way down. Next, we're gonna go into your torso, your obliques. You turn when you're playing tennis, so it's a lot of turning and twisting. So it's important to loosen up your obliques, your lumbar, all of this area, get that warmed up also. Also, you can refer to these stretching exercises throughout. If you feel like something's getting tight in your upper back, just refer to that stretch, upper back stretch. Feel like something's tightened up in your lower back, you can refer to this one or the next one we go into. The next one is where you lean over. If you have the flex, you go as far as you can with the stretch, and then your goal is eventually touch your toes, okay? But what you can do is stretch, straighten, and then bend. Bend your knees. Remember, it's very important to breathe when you're down there. Straight, bend, straight. It's just getting this hamstring, your lumbar. I pull across this way too, is another little variation. If you're using lateral movement, you can pull. Hand goes on the opposite leg, and you pull across just to get that stretched out. Now the next one, you can grab your ankle. If you need to hold on to the net, you can hold on to the net, but you're going to grab your ankle and pull your knee next to your other knee. And then there's two different variations. Let's get your quads pulling back. You're going to get more of your hip flexors. Quads, so your knee next to your other knee, and then get your hip flex, pull back too. There you go, get those hip flexors. You can modify it so you can come and do the net, place your foot up onto the net, and then you sit back into it. Remember, on all these, breathe. You don't want to hold your breath. If you're holding your breath, your body, you're pulling one way and your body says, no, I don't want you to go any further because you're doing something wrong. If you'll breathe, it'll help you to relax. Neuromuscular with the PNF stretching, it really helps you to get the open up and get more range of motion in a short amount of time because you're doing everything right. Neuromuscular, those proprioceptors allow you to go further. All right, now the next one, you can take your racket and you're gonna put your foot, one foot back, one foot forward, and you're just opening up this hip joint a little bit more, just like we just did with the hip flexors, but it's gonna get good. So what you're doing is just opening up this hip flexors, and you can do like dynamic, like she's doing, bounce, come up and down some, up and down, take it to the furthest point and just prepare it. So when you go for a ball, at least you can bend instead of tearing or falling and breaking something. So muscular system supports the skeletal system. So a lot of times it's important to get those muscles warmed up. Both sides. Go down and get a good stretch, and then you just come up and down with it. Just a little bit of dynamic stretches, just getting these hip flexors and the hip, glutes, everything loosened up. Okay, perfect. Now, the next one, you can do, what I like to do is you're going to be doing a lot of lateral movement. So get your feet wide apart. So and you're just going to bend side to side, getting these abductors. Okay, so it's just warming up these abductors. So if you go to reach for a ball, you can bend down there, okay? Keep your feet forward, okay? There you go. Now, to get the adductors, you want more of the the feet forward. If you turn your toes this way, it's back like stretching your hip flexors. So we just did that stretch. You want to work on the inner thigh area. Just warming up that. Good. Those adductors warmed up. Good. All right. Now the next one is calf stretch. Okay. And your foot back. And what you want to do is your legs straight, bend your knee. Legs straight, bend your knee. The back knee, you want to bend the back knee. So the heel stays on the ground, bend your knee, straight. So actually it's bend this knee and then straight. Bend this knee and then straight. It's just getting your Achilles and your calf. You got gastrocnemius, which when your leg is straight, you got soleus, and your Achilles, when you bend your knee, you'll feel it more in that area. So you're warming up that soleus and calf muscle. Good. Bend and straight. There you go, good. It's just getting that back Achilles and back leg area prepared for it. Good. All right. And what I like to do is go up onto your toes as high as you can. And stay up there just to get a good stretch. All right. And then just start going calf raises, just up and down. There you go. Because it's important to get this area up. You're going to be on your calves a lot. So that's where, like, if you feel your calves start tightening up, take a second, do this calf stretch. Okay? Feel like it's tightening up on you? You can refer to these stretching exercises. Feel like your adductors are tightening up on you? Just go and stretch, loosen up. Sometimes it tightens up and contracting because it's repetitive use and using it. So it can be an electrolyte imbalance too, or water. But it's important to stretch because sometimes you don't want things, once it's getting tight, it's talking to you. So it's important to say, hey, address it. Say, I need to stretch it out. It's talking to me about it might end up, you don't want to end up with a mild tear, partial tear, severe tear, strain the muscle. So, all right, now the last one is your toe next to your other, kind of slightly behind your heel. And you're just going to do circular motions. You can just circular more of the ankle, or you can actually even also do the knee, which will get the ankle, knee, and hip joint. All you're doing is getting those ligaments and tendons loosen up, getting the synovial fluid lubricating, so it helps so you don't have the joints compressing and tight. That's why we stretch anyway, but it's also so you don't have like two sticks, when you rub two sticks together and you don't have any, you get the friction and the heat. You don't want that on the cartilage in the joint area. So open that up, and it helps stimulate synovial fluid too. So it's like lubricating. So you go circular motion, you go the other direction. And you can have your foot back if you need, but you want it more closer, kind of closer to your leg that's straight here that you're supporting yourself on. Just circular motion, and then the other direction. So that's a good little routine from head to toe. 12 different stretches just to get you all warmed up. Now you're ready to go. And then what I do, squat down. When you squat, okay, you want it's just getting this area, your knees open up, your ankle, your hip, and just move your feet from side to side. Circular motion, just stimulating that synovial fluid, loosen up those ligaments and tendons. I push out like this just to get my adductors and my groin so I don't injure my groin. Okay, and the more you do this, the more it comes more natural. You don't have to use it as much. You stay loose all the time. It's just more, but it's important to do it pre especially, warming yourself up so you don't injure yourself, but also if you feel like you're getting tight in between a break, refer to that stretch. If you have someone to come out and stretch you, that's important too. Do the PNF stretch and open that area up even more. But the main thing is actually afterwards too, you don't feel like you need to stretch because you're warmed up, the adrenaline's going, your blood flowing. But it's important because if you don't, then you'll end up, when your body finally cools down, you have all this blood, all this byproducts and lactic acid, metabolic waste, and that's going to create a lot of your stiffness and soreness. So refer to those stretching exercises. Any final advice after your warm up?
As my college coach would always say, go out there, have some fun, and remember, win the last point.
Any motivational advice you might want to give someone who plays tennis, for upcoming tennis players? Any motivation?
Don't give up, just have fun. Tennis is a game of fun, and it's something you can do for life. And it's always pick a ball if you don't like tennis.